Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Skippers, the art teacher at Hutchings Elementary. I want to do a quick demonstration here for you on how I put together this kind of cool farm scene with the big barn in the background and the old-fashioned truck here in the front. The first thing that I did is I actually folded my paper in half in both directions, just to have some invisible lines, some midpoints there to kind of help me in my placement. My pickup truck is what I'm going to start with down here in this lower right-hand corner. So just past my fold line, I'm going to draw the short line of the end and start with this rectangle. I'm not going to draw the bottom of it yet because I'm going to be putting my wheels in there. So I'll wait and do that detail last. I'm going to extend this line up about twice as high, and then I'm going to go to the right here a little bit and then start curving it down to make the door. And I'll come up just a little bit higher than the back line here of my truck bed, and I'm gonna go straight over and then curve just like I did on the door to make the front of my pickup truck. Now that I've got all of those upper lines, I'm gonna come back here. I'm ready to add my tires, my wheels. I'm gonna make my circles so that they are halfway up inside here and half down. It's a little bit tricky since I don't have my my truck closed up yet, but if you really work at looking at it, I'm sure you'll do fine getting them the same size and in the right location. All right, I'm ready to close this pickup with a line all the way across and start adding a few little details. I want to put a window here on my door, so that kind of just repeats the top of my door. I'll add another little curve here to kind of make a windshield. I also want to add some semicircles above each of my tires just for a fender, and then another little circle inside where the hub separates from the tire there. All right, I'm going to put another little detail line across the bottom of here. I think that just kind of makes it a little more interesting, and I will add just a little rectangle there for the handle on the door. All right, my truck is pretty well set for now. I'm gonna come over to the upper left-hand corner here for the majority of my barn. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna come down lower than my fold line and about 2 fingers in, because I wanna leave a little bit of space here for some background details. And I'll take that bottom line of my barn over to just above where my pickup truck is. All right, I'm gonna add my side lines here of my barn. Gotta go kind of carefully to make sure that my square or rectangle looks really straight. And I'll just close that up with a line across the top. And I will be ready then to start on a few more details, like a smaller rectangle that will be inside for my doors. And then I'm ready to start with my roof. One of the things that's kind of unique about a barn roof is that instead of just having 2 lines that meet at one peak, you'll see that they tend to have this second section of shorter lines that make another angle there. So just something kind of unique to a lot of different barns. All right, I'm gonna add a few double lines around here to my roof. Keep those looking as parallel and straight as I can, and then I'll close those off. I'm gonna put just a small little window up here in my upper level of my barn and put a second rectangle around it just to add a little detail. You know, a lot of barns that you see have those white details on them, so this is a great way to kind of imply that. I'm going to add another little rectangle around my doors here so that will appear white. And then I'm going to finish it off with a big X from corner to corner. That's oftentimes a detail that you see on barn doors, is that big X. And then I'll put a line right down the center to divide up my doors. All right, my barn is pretty well set. I'm going to move over here to make the silo, which I want to go a little bit higher than that front corner. So I'm going to start with a little bit of a curve because I want this silo to end up looking like it is a cylinder instead of making it look just like a rectangle. So once I've got those tall lines and my curves at the top and the bottom, it's going to make it look a little more round. And I'll put a curve in the opposite direction just to top it off. So that's pretty well set then for the silo. Now I'm going to come down and I add the detail lines to make it look like my pickup is actually on a road and not just in this big open area. So I want to leave a little bit of space underneath, and I'll come over and put a line almost all the way across here. And then I'm going to let this curve here on the end, and it's going to angle back toward the same angle actually really of my big X here. And this is going to make it look like my drive is kind of turning and going back towards that door. So we're giving it almost a little bit of perspective. I'll come up here toward the front of my pickup, and I'm going to add another line. I don't want it to line up with the back of my pickup here. So if I want, I could actually even start here and go back and let that angle back and line up this way to meet up the back of the pickup truck, and then go toward the front and put it in the same location. Okay, I'm just ready to add some remaining details to get some background information. So I want to put a little line on here that will show the ground separated from the sky, my horizon line. And then it's just a matter of adding some simple curves to make it look like there's some hills, maybe some crops. You could certainly color those or pattern them if you want to. But I'm adding a few little squiggle lines now here to make it look like I've got a very leafy tree line off in the very background in the distance. That's pretty much it. So I hope that you'll give it a try and have some fun making this fun barn scene.